All this is your hometown news at 10.
Good evening, Southeast Texas. I'm Jim Walker.
And I'm Narissa Knight. Thanks for joining us. Up first at 10, wastewater used to neutralize deadly nerve gas could be heading here to Southeast Texas. An Illinois-based company has secured a $49 million contract to incinerate the caustic liquid left over by the Army from the Cold War days.
At least one local environmentalist says the public should be concerned, even outraged. But as KBTV4's Erica English explains, plant officials insist the process is safe.
We have enough to deal with our refineries and chemical plants. We have enough contaminants in our air without adding more to our environment.
Hilton Kelly is the founder of the environmental watchdog group, Community Empowered Development Association. He's furious over a $49 million contract with the Port Arthur plant to incinerate the wastewater remains left behind by a process to neutralize the deadly nerve agents VX.
And it's a nasty gas that creates blisters in the throat. It's a nerve gas, and it shuts down the respiratory system.
Kelly says the nerve agents was used during wartime to incapacitate the enemy. And now the Army is looking to dispose the remains here in Southeast Texas. The OEA's general manager, Mitch Osborne, says the process is part of a treaty to destroy all chemical weapons by 2012.
The hoses will be connected, and then we will offload the material into one of the large storage tanks you see at the end of our tank farm.
Osborne says it could take years to complete the process, but by the end, up to 1.8 million gallons will be incinerated here at the Veolia facility in Port Arthur.
And what we're getting is the remnants after everything has been neutralized and treated. We're getting the wastewater that's left over.
Not the nerve gas itself. But although Kelly knows this, he still feels it's a threat to the community.
If this stuff is good enough to burn here, why can't they burn it in Indiana where it's at?
And that's why they're looking at us for our capabilities and our company's reputation in the marketplace.
Erica English, KBTV4, Port Arthur.
Generation of this wastewater. 4 tanker trucks rolled in early this morning. Shortly thereafter, the Water Services Company began doing the paperwork, began getting the trucks ready for the offloading process, which should start about 7 o'clock this morning. This is a shipment that some Southeast Texans had hoped to avoid. They said that the community wasn't given enough notice about the shipment, and they feared that the shipment was dangerous. Some of those environmental activists even called the shipment toxic. Now, the company does tell us that this is not a toxic substance. The wastewater is considered a potentially hazardous material because it has corrosive properties, but it is definitely not a toxic substance. We'll have much more coming up. For now, in Port Arthur, Alexis Patterson, KBTV4.
Just mentioned in that area, not happy about this wastewater coming to their neighborhood. They say they're concerned about their health, they're concerned about the environment, but really they're more upset about the fact that they were never notified by the city, the county, the company Veolia, or even the Army who transported the stuff here. But some city and county leaders are telling these people there is really no reason to be concerned.
If our city government and the state representatives okayed it, then let them have it in their backyard, not ours.
This should be not a great concern to our citizens. I don't think the Army would be putting something out on the highways that they haven't checked and make sure that the citizens would be protected.
Be sure to stay with KBTV for the very latest on this developing story. It is now 6:52, about 55. Coming up here on the Morning News.
Live from the
rest of the nation. A total of 8 large tankers have dropped off loads of what's left over from a deadly nerve gas called VX. Now, this residue, or whatever is left over from this neutralized nerve gas, is basically wastewater, and it's now at a business called Veolia on Highway 73 in West Port Arthur. It's out toward Port Acres. Well, that's where the wastewater will be burned on Friday, possibly. Reporter Erica English explains.
They'll definitely stage a protest.
After the arrival of the first 4 tanks containing the neutralized wastewater of the chemical nerve agent VX, more tanks continue to roll in. And local environmental activists are planning a protest to stop the incineration of the material.
We really have some sincere concerns for the health of our community due to the fact that they've already started these trucks to rolling in, and they're already starting to store this product and preparing it to incinerate.
Mitch Osborne, plant manager of the Veolia facility in Port Arthur, says so far they've received 8 tankers containing the material without a problem, and none, he says, are expected.
They'll travel at a minimum of 2 because of the convoy with team trucks, and up to 12 per week. That's in accordance with our transportation safety plan.
But we're going to do what we can to stop the remaining trucks that will be on the way for quite some time. We're going to try and stop as many as we can, and we're going to try and stop them as soon as we can.
By the end, up to 1.8 million gallons could be incinerated at Veolia. Once the tankers are backed in, the treated wastewater remains are pumped into a storage tank. Once it reaches their desired volume, Osborne says the material will be moved to a blending tank.
I think we'll mix it with additional water-based material or some reagents and get it to a certain blend spec before we feed it into our incinerator.
Although Osborne ensures the public of the safety of the closed-loop process, Kelly says he's not convinced and is planning a meeting to take action against incineration set for Friday.
So we want to send a clear signal to the United States military and to our government and let them know that Port Arthur will not be a dumping ground for the U.S. toxic waste.
And we can go ahead and confirm for you this morning that those who are protesting this project are scheduled to have a public meeting this Thursday at 6 o'clock in the evening. The address we're given is 601 Woodworth Boulevard in Port Arthur. We will keep you posted, and we'll have another look at your hometown news coverage